thank you for using Flight Circle. We're going to be going over checking in a reservation. As you can see here, I already have a few reservations up, and I'm going to be using Basic User as an example. So I'm going to select the reservation and dispatch. Optionally, you can dispatch a reservation before flying. This just shows information that you can verify before going to the plane, like open squawks, user balance, aircraft checkout, and more. It also changes the color of the reservation so everyone knows that the plane is out. Check the box print if you want to print a dispatch sheet. This includes user, instructor, and aircraft information. You could write the return times and other details on. I'm going to go ahead and select dispatch. As you can see, the reservation has changed colors from blue to green. Going to select the reservation again and check in. So the check-in process records information about the flight. We use this information to populate your reports, bill the user, collect instructor times, and much more. We automatically populate the out times, as you can see here from the previous flight. If you only have 1 meter, you can select that in aircraft setup. So the default hourly rate will populate. You can set up other rates in aircraft setup. You can also set permissions and default rates by user groups. So right now I'm just going to leave this onto the default and say we flew for 1 hour and select next. If you have any tracking events set up like I do here for oil added, you can enter the values here. Next. Adjustments allow you to adjust the bill with custom credits or debits, for example, a promotional discount or cash credit discount. These can be set at Manage Adjustments. A default one we populate is fuel reimbursement. If your hourly rate is wet and someone purchases fuel away, use this adjustment. So I'm going to add in 12 gallons for $60 and add fuel reimbursement. So you can now see the adjustment is here. Going to select next. So for instructors, here you can enter instructor flight and ground times. You don't have to separate them, but it is nice for reporting or if you charge different rates. We automatically populate the instructor flight time using the aircraft flight time. So you can see here we flew 1 hour. And you can also edit as you like. The default instructor rate will populate. You can add, edit, or resort these options on the Rate Setup tab at Manage Instructors. So while we're here, let's look at the tabs at the top. Notes may have been entered from the reservation prior, but it is also a good place for instructors to put student training notes. There is a notes report where it is easy to review a specific student's training process. And I'm going to review the history tab as well. And I have a lot of information here for you just as an example. So it'll show the date and the time that the reservation was created, who created the reservation in the log. If we go over to the Squawks tab, you'll see it'll show the status, the date and the time that it was created in the description. Whenever there is a squawk created, it will email whoever you have set to get that alert. So let's go back to the flight tab. This is where we were before. And I'm going to select next to get to the final step. So this page summarizes everything before you complete the check-in. You can see the details we entered in the final total. If you collect taxes for the aircraft use, you can check the box here to apply that. As it often is a case-by-case use, you can choose by check-in. There is a way to default this normally on or off or automatic. So I'm going to check that off. If you accept credit cards, you could swipe a card now to charge the card and finish. If a card is on file, we automatically populate the payment method to card on file, so you know one is there and ready to use. Or you could choose if they are paying by another method. So I'm going to use check as an example, and you can enter the check number right here. If you have sold a block rate contract or flying credits, the contract would automatically appear as the selected payment method and should be used. These were quite a few steps. However, not all steps will always show to all users, and depending on your configuration. For example, a basic user might only see the first and last page, keeping it simple, and an admin user can sell items, make adjustments, and yes, a basic user can perform their own check-in if you allow this. That is set at Manage User Settings. Since we have a card on file, we'll use that. So I'm going to go back to card on file, and this is the one that we have on file. And I'm going to select Finish. And it's going to pull up their receipt. There we are. You have the option to print this, or you can email it to the user. A shortcut to go to the user's account from the receipt is just to click their name at the top right here. So I'm going to select Basic User. So on the user's account, you can see today's charge and payment. Here's the charge from today and their payment up here. A common mistake is to enter the wrong meter numbers. So let me show you how to make a correction. So for the aircraft charge, use Options Edit. So I'm going to go to Options Edit. Here you can change the person billed, the out and return times here, aircraft rate, tax, and then I'll change that. So on save, billing will be updated accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and cancel. And while here, let's say you wanted to refund the credit card. So on that row, so on the payment row, use Options Refund. So Options Refund. So you can enter a partial amount up to the total or the amount. If you do this the same day before the credit card batches out, it will be a void and not post to the person's account and avoid any fees. So let's check the box. I understand that this cannot be reversed. And select Refund. If you want to delete the check-in altogether instead, use Options Delete. So I'm going to return back to the schedule now. And the reservation has now been grayed out. So we encourage you to check in reservations promptly after flight. This keeps things flowing throughout the day. Some even do this while still in the plane. So now you guys are ready for the next check-in. So thank you for watching. Please contact us if you have any questions.